Hello, this is Yahweasel. Let's fly in X-Plane 10. Perhaps some of you know that I like flight simulators. I may have mentioned it at some point. I haven't done a Let's Play of a flight simulator because flight simulators aren't games. There's really nothing exciting to watch. It's very fun to play, but not exciting to watch, I think, usually. That being said, I bought X-Plane 10, and it was very expensive, but well worth it. It is a very, very good flight simulator. And I also bought a Logitech X3D flight stick, so I had to record at least one video with this combination. I have to. It's a good flight stick, for the price certainly. It's a good flight simulator, and we're gonna go ahead and fly from London, Ontario to, oh, I can't even see it from here. Well, to Toronto. It's over here somewhere. Toronto being, so London, Ontario here. What is this? I've already forgotten. CYXU. All Canadian airports start with C, and then all Canadian airports furthermore start with CY. So, at least I think they all start with CY. Anyway, we're here in Canada. We're in a Canadian airport. I happen to know that the approach angle for the London, this is London, for the Toronto runway that I will be landing on is 60 degrees. So that will be the approach angle I want. It's a very short trip, which is why I'm worried about the approach angle already, because it's like right there. It'll take me, 10-15 minutes, and I'll fast forward a bit of that. But let's go ahead and show you why flight simulators are not video games. So first off, before I can even start, and I'm even going to leave it paused here, I have to set up all my controls. So I'm going to want this to be set to GPS, set my bearing to GPS as well, and then punch in the airport code. I've already started doing that backwards. Nope. ABC. There we go. C, Y, Y, Z. There we go, the Toronto Lester B. Pearson Airport. I like how it makes Lester primary. I have to unpause for just a second so that it'll update this stuff. So we see that that is a 69-degree angle from here. Now, like I said, I want to approach it at a 60-degree angle, so what I'm actually going to do is set this to something like maybe a 120-degree angle, like really a far more intense angle. And get my heading bug on. So there we go. So I have a heading bug at 120 degrees. Let's see. And then once this bearing goes to about 60 degrees, then I want to actually start aiming for the airport. Okay, so I've got my course laid in. Let me mess with the altitude right now because I will want to use autopilot for a bit. Autopilot is not cheating, because once you're actually flying, that's the easy part of flying. So, there we go. We'll set that on. Not have autopilot on just yet. I'm not going to have it take off for me. I don't even know if the autopilot in this game can take off for you. But, let's go ahead. I'll leave it in this view. I like this view. Take off the brakes. Turn up the throttle. And make sure we keep nice and straight here. This flight stick, if I start talking loudly, it's because this is very loud in my ears. This flight stick is quite nice because it has yaw, pitch and roll. Those are your usual axes for a flight stick of any kind. But it also has yaw by twisting the flight stick. And it's not so sensitive that you're going to accidentally yaw when you don't intend to. So it's a nice flight stick. Now let me go ahead and turn myself towards the proper direction. So we're kind of going east-southeast here, and ultimately my goal is to get to a point where I have a 60-degree approach angle with my airport of choice being Toronto. By the way, I'm just going from London to Toronto because it's a short flight, vaguely near where I live right now, without actually being near enough to tell you where I live right now. So now you can see I paused there. You can see I am at 3,000 feet. Oop, there we go. Which is obviously really low to be flying normally, but this is a... In fact, I can show you the outside view. This is a very small... Oops, I forgot to bring up the landing gear. Great! Off to a perfect start. I just clicked the landing gear button, but that'll take a while. This is a very small jet. It is a commercial jet. There are seats back here, but that's sort of not the... you know, this isn't something that's going to be doing an international flight at 30,000 feet, so that's not happening. Now, I have my altitude and headings locked in, so if I set this on autopilot, then I should just be able to unpause. Now, obviously, it's going to tilt me down a bit, because I'm already 100 feet higher than I need to be. Except that instead, the autopilot seems to be doing nothing. What are you doing? Oh god, I thought I had this figured out. Autopilot, why... Oh wait, first off, let's set my bank limit to 15 degrees. That's far more reasonable. No. Autopilot is doing nothing. I'm gonna be blacking out soon. That's a problem. I'm sorry, Autopilot! I asked too much of you or something! Yeah, Autopilot isn't even taking control here. Why isn't Autopilot taking control? Jesus, take the wheel! Yep, landing gear's up. Everything should be right. Dang it! Oh, flight sims, they are complicated. Set the altitude, 3,000 feet. My heading is locked in. What did I miss? This should be in full auto mode now. That's locked to the GPS heading. Right, but that's set to heading, so that doesn't matter. If I set this to auto, then will this do a different thing? No. Oh, no! Oh, I did this perfectly. Fairly recently, but oh well, I guess I'm gonna be flying the old-fashioned way for a little bit, so I can definitely turn down my throttle. What? I feel like I'm fighting the autopilot. What is it doing? Autopilot, why are you trying to pull up? What is this? What is this? That has to be fighting the autopilot. My thrust is almost all the way down, and yet it continues to pull up. Okay, Autopilot, just what do you think you're doing? Oh, dear. Heading bug, altitude bug... Okay, give me a second to figure this out. Okay. I'm still unsure what's going on, but we're gonna have a leisurely flight at 3,800 feet instead. I think the heading adjustment is working correctly, but the altitude adjustment not so much. However, as you can see, it is now 61 degrees to our airport, so now would be the time to go ahead and set this all the way down to 60 degrees so that we can get into a appropriate angle of attack here, and unpause and see if it... Yep, okay, so it is correcting that. I don't know why the altitude control does not seem to be doing anything at all. But fine. We're just not worrying about altitude, apparently. Yeah, I'm confused. Why? I don't know. Okay, let's stop worrying about why altitude control isn't working, because it is holding the altitude steady, so I'm not actually worried about it. Go ahead and let it get us to the correct angle, and we can actually, probably from here, how far am I? 60 nautical miles. I might be able to see... Well, I can't find us. There we go. So, here is our target airport up here. That is Toronto. Either of these two landing strips will be the one I use, just depending on which one happens to be lined up, which hopefully will be one or the other. And so, I'm going to go ahead and let the plane get itself to the right angle. That's what autopilot is for. As you can see, I slightly got off there because I waited too long, so now it's at 59 degrees instead of 60. Oh well. This is the course angle, by the way. So this is the angle from the London airport to the Toronto airport, which is not what I want. I want my current and continuous angle. So just to try and get that back up to 60 again, I'm going to go ahead and go slightly to the right until that reads 60. But while that's happening, I am going to go outside and just take a look at things down below. So here is the fun part of flight sims. While the autopilot has taken over, well, no, actually, the taking off and landing is the fun part, let's be honest. But while the autopilot is taken over, you can, you know, get a nice view of all of the things you are flying over. And, you know, your entire 0 people who are your passengers. That's nice. Let's see, is that... Nope, that's not back up to 60 yet. Just trying to make sure that my angle of approach is ideal, which it may or may not be. God, my altitude is still climbing. I need to actually get down. And it's actually fighting me. It's keeping my altitude too high. Is that set to 30,000 and not 3,000? What's going on? No, it's not. It's not. That's not the problem. You know what? If I just turn this off... Oh, I can't turn that off. Well, that's great. Okay. I guess it makes sense that you can't turn off the altitude control. It just doesn't make sense that it's not actually doing anything. I'm actually going to just throttle off the engine until it complains. It'll complain soon as I start falling out of the sky. But, you know, that's fine. These things happen. Now, I can adjust the speed. So, hopefully... I just need to go far enough, because I'm still 56 nautical miles out. It'll be a while before I get there. Oh, whoa, whoa, whoa! Why is that getting worse? That should be getting better, shouldn't it? No, because I overshot it. Shoot. No, oops, sorry. I forgot what I was doing here. That needs to be 55. I'm a pilot! Trust me to do all your pilot-related stuff. Oop, there we go. So this doesn't actually speed up the simulation per se, it just speeds up the speed. It just speeds up how fast your plane is capable of going by some kind of dark magic. So when that hits 60 again... Now do you see why flight sims? No? You don't? What are you saying? Somehow you don't find this as amazing as I do? Oh, come on. I almost feel like trying to get a little bit more adjustment. Oh, there we go. There we go. Okay, that's back to 60 degrees. So we'll go ahead and get ourselves back to 60 degrees. What did I just do? Did I just set this back to some ridiculous... No, that was still 15. Okay. Who knows? I click stuff, and sometimes it does stuff, and whatever. Okay, I no longer need to use this rather awkward view, so let's go ahead and switch back to the HUD. The HUD is kind of cheaty because, of course, this, you know, commercial jet doesn't have a heads-up display. But it does give you the sort of nice panorama that you want when you're playing a flight sim. So, you know, that's what I'm usually going to prefer. Oh, except that, yeah, from the HUD, it doesn't tell me that I'm 42 nautical miles away. So, unfortunately, I am going to have to use this view. Because I do need to know, once I get to maybe 10 nautical miles, well, I'm pretty high still. Then again, I'm dropping fast thanks to my brilliant turning down the engines. Haha, great. Let's turn back up the engines. That's the proper way to altitude control. Just use throttle. Haha, no. That is not the way. That is a problem, actually. That is a flaw. I hope that it's at least trying to maintain altitude, so that if I just leave it like this, it'll do the right thing. Okay, so I'm not touching the controls at all. I'm just watching my approach here. It'll take a while, because, you know, it's still 30 nautical miles out. So, in fact, I can safely take a moment to see what we're missing here at super speed. We're, like, well past the speed of sound here in this tiny little commercial jet, but sure, commercial jet, jet fighter, they're all the same. Given that I set it to be a clear day, at 20 nautical miles, I may be able to see it. My resolution is a bit lower for recording, I'm at 720p, but I may just be able to make out the airport at about 20 nautical miles, maybe. We're gonna see if I can land. So if you don't know, the two things that kill any newbie at at flight simulators is the takeoff and the landing. Particularly the landing. Takeoff, particularly if you're in like a Cessna or something, it's hard to screw up takeoff if you're in a, you know, in a plane that, whoa, I wasn't paying attention to my nautical miles there. Oops, and I'm also not at the right angle anymore. It's hard to screw up the takeoff if you're in a light plane, like a Cessna or something, because basically, if you want the plane to take off, oh, it's gonna take off, don't you worry. Can you see any runways? Oh, yep, okay. My angle of approach is terrible, so in fact, I need to do some very severe correction here to try and get this number here down to 60 degrees. And I'm doing that totally fly-by-wire, which is not ideal, but, you know, what you gonna do, sue me? 62, 61, let's go ahead and set this back again. I hope, I'm already down to 8 nautical miles. Okay, hopefully that's enough. So once this straightens out, I'm gonna go ahead and turn off the throttle, turn off the autopilot, get myself into this view, start putting down the flaps. Now, my throttle is completely off, and as you can see, my angle of approach is still terrible, but I'm just going to go ahead and wing it. Haha, great. My speed is alright. I'm going to need to bleed off a lot more speed, but for the time being, not a problem. I'm actually inclined to get a little bit further to the right here. I don't feel like I'm going to get enough distance. The nice thing is, given that it's a straight runway, and that, you know, looking at it from any angle, it should look straight if you're making a correct approach, you can tell, without having to straighten out again, how close you are to being a correct approach. If only the HUD wasn't in the way! Getting there. Time to start turning in. There we go. This should work. That's a slightly severe angle for a commercial flight, but whatever. They can take it. I've got superstars or something in here. This is like a private jet, so it's some kind of very rich people. They can tolerate this kind of thing. It is telling me to put down my landing gear, because I'm awfully low to be flying and, you know, not landing. That is correct, plane. Thank you. I am, in fact, landing. I do think that signal comes on a little bit prematurely, because the thing is, it's really just the "what the hell are you doing flying so low" signal, but I don't know of a way to say what I'm doing is landing other than, you know, putting out my landing gear. A little bit more to the left. I'm just using yaw. I'm trying not to pitch too much because my approach is pretty good. I'm still over 100, so I don't think I need to slow down any. I'll put on full flaps when I'm closer to the ground. You know what? I might need a little bit of throttle, because it's getting harder to aim. Anybody played Pilot Wings? Yeah? It's kind of like that, only, you know, for real. Trust Yahweasel, your best commercial pilot. I've still got plenty of throttle space since my throttle is completely off, but I'm not liking this angle of approach. Although my speed is pretty good, I can obviously only judge the distance by looking at it. I don't have GPS from this view. Come on. Oh, by the way... Yep, thank you. By the way, if you're curious what's going on the screen, the thing that looks kind of like a dying penguin or upside-down airplane, that is your actual direction of travel, and the thing that's the sort of, I don't know, the other thing, the one that's actually centered on the screen, that's where your nose is headed. So, just by the wind conditions and the, yep, by the wind conditions and such, those will vary, and of course, vertically, those will never be the same, because lift isn't... You don't just lift by flying directly in the direction of your nose. That doesn't make any sense. but that's why the HUD view is kind of cheaty, especially for landing, because you can tell if you're aimed at the, if you're actually flying towards the runway, because your direction of travel indicator will be right on the runway, as it is right now. So, yeah, that makes it a little bit cheaty, but it also allows me to land. So, 6 of one, half a dozen of the other. Maybe another time I will try this with without the HUD and see if I can just guess it. And, of course, I set it to clear weather, so basically the situation is perfect. Don't want to land too early here. My speed is still a little bit higher than I would like, but we're going to tolerate that. Go ahead and come in at a shallow angle for a nice, terrible landing. Oh, that wasn't too bad, actually. Put on the brakes. Just keep me nicely lined up on this runway. And there you go! There you go! You got to see in an earlier video that I am terrible at driving and racing games and such, but hey! I can fly a plane! Or at least I can, you know, fly a virtual plane in a flight simulator. And we have gone from London, Ontario to Toronto, Ontario in a very short trip, thanks to fast forwarding. But, of course, that's not what you wanted to see. That's not what you wanted to see at all. So let's go ahead and take off immediately again. And this time just crash horribly. Because that's what you wanted to see, isn't it? You sick people. All you really wanted to see was me crashing my plane. How cruel. How utterly, utterly cruel. And we are so close to Toronto, so... as in, not the airport, but the city. So, great. Aviation disasters. So let's go ahead and take off again. I really love this flight stick, by the way. Kudos to Logitech. It is a really good flight stick and a really good price. Okay. Getting good takeoff here. Now that's some flight-related building, so let's go ahead and crash into it, because, I don't know, it's less important than random city structures. Let's take up my landing gears. I'm not landing, I'm just crashing my plane. Actually, it's very tasteless to crash planes into buildings, so I'm not going to do that. I'm just going to crash it into the ground. Oh, I didn't even put back up my flaps. Whee! Flying with the flaps down, because brilliance. Yeah, that's the problem with not having all of the panels visible all the time. I don't see, like, what are you doing flying with your flaps down, you moron? Woohoo! Bang! Oh god, oh bang, oh, well, no, it's fine, it's totally okay. Ooh, I think, I might have had some critical system failures here. Battery, generator, ignition, it says tire blown, but who cares, I can fly without tires. Well, there you go! You have seen both that I can fly in X-Plane 10, and that I can crash in X-Plane 10, in case you wanted to see that as well. So, that's it. That's probably the only video I'm going to do in X-Plane 10, because like I said, it's not a game. It's not a Let's Play. I do enjoy the flight simulator. Ooh, that's a good view. I do enjoy the flight simulators, but, it's not really a game. Maybe if I had somebody to multiplay with and, like, teach them, then that would be different. But it's a $60 game, so you probably don't want to buy it for that purpose. It's a $60 not game, rather. But that's it for me, so thanks for watching. If you liked the video, I've got hundreds more, and the rest are actually games, not this. So just click that channel button to see any of them. Cheers from Yahweasel.